Hello and welcome to this entrepreneurial life. I'm going to show you my face, and I will try to speak one word at a time as well. So this entrepreneurial life is all about the entrepreneurial journey, my journey, your journey, and how it really is. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you're likely to be creative and have thoughts and ideas all the time. I'm like that too. I've just written down a bunch of ideas today, which I neither have time or capital to actually follow through on, but they're still there. So to-do lists, how do I do them? I'm a busy person. I like being busy. I like getting stuff done. I'm an action taker. If that sounds familiar to you, you're probably an entrepreneur also. So a couple of things. I won't make those farting sounds with the laptop anymore. So to-do lists. So what I highly encourage everyone to have is a notebook. Okay. So why have a notebook? Well, you bring it with you in all sorts of meetings. You can always, write about it, scribble in it, and it's very much a way of processing, way of thinking. So what I find really helps in terms of to-do lists is just getting it down. Just write it down, because at the time your brain is thinking, oh, this is really important. I have to write this down. This is like the best idea ever. So I recommend writing it down, and there's different ways of doing it. You can write it down in your book. You can write it down on a piece of paper. But I actually go, hey Siri, create a reminder for tomorrow at 3 p.m. to go to dentist.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Right, so now it says go to dentist, Wednesday, 6th of September. I use that a lot. I'm not going to the dentist tomorrow, so I'm gonna just
Delete this reminder.
yes, remove.
Okay, I deleted it.
Right, so I'm not going to use that reminder, but I actually use the reminder on iPhone, because I find that really great way to get things done. It's more like a brain dump. I used to use lots of different systems before, but now, because I have my iPhone with me at most times, I can just say, hey Siri, remind me at this time, whatever, and then when the reminder comes, I can decide whether it's important or not. And a lot of the time it's not actually important, but I've written it down. And when I write something down, I can let go of it. So it's really about allowing my brain and my body to just let go of whatever impulsive thought I've had. And I find that writing it down lets it go. So that's one thing that I do. But I'm a really big fan of a book called The One Thing. So every single day I will start the day by asking myself, what is the one most important thing that I need to do today to make everything else easier or unnecessary? And I actually ask myself that every single morning. I start every single day with 3 power blocks, and those power blocks I work on the one most important thing. So it's not really about having a long to-do list. It's not really about having a long list and being happy about it. And there's different types of lists, of course, as well. If you're going shopping, it's a different type of list than if you're running a business where there's lots of things to think about. So the one thing is all about asking yourself, what is the one most important thing to do today to make everything else easier or unnecessary? And then what you're doing is you're not thinking about just today. You're thinking 5 years ahead in time. Like what's the important thing you need to do today to be where you want to be in 5 years? Because if you have that perspective, then how and what you do things changes. It's very easy to just sit down and do things. That's why most people sit down and just do email. They treat email as a to-do list. Your email is not a to-do list. It is other people's agenda. So at the beginning of the day, when you have maximum willpower and focus, when you're not so distracted by all the other things, then turn off your email, turn off your phone, and just work on the one most important thing that's really going to take you to the next level. And I do that for my personal life and my business life. So I've got 2 different categories, because sometimes there's some important personal stuff that you need to deal with, and other times there's some business stuff, but usually there's business and personal. So I find that like writing those down and asking myself what's really important really helps me focus and helps me drive me forwards in life and business, and moves everything moves everything to a better place on a consistent basis. And why is that important? Well, because compound interest, if you do the same thing every single day, you'll get the same result, but are the things that you're doing important? So one thing to ask yourself is, like, the stuff on your to-do list, is it important? Is it something that you really need to do? Is it essential for your life? Do you need to do play tennis, go running, and do something else? Or is it enough just to do one thing? So the problem with being efficient is that you constantly get more free time. Now the question is, when you have free time, what do you actually do with it? Do you fill it with more things, or do you try to do nothing, or do you try to do something else than, for instance, work? But there's definitely different types of to-do lists. So the one most important thing every day is how I focus my to-do list, and all other to-dos are secondary, right? Peter Drucker in The Effective Executive says, first things first and second things never. So that's something to think about. So I have a hierarchy of priority. My to-do is one thing for personal, one thing for business. And when I have done them, I kind of continue with whatever I see fit. And I actually, after lunch, I kind of let go a little bit, because I can only focus for so long. So after lunch, I kind of let go, and I just kind of busy myself with lots of to-dos. But of course, I try to stay focused on the one most important thing. But I found that being too focused all the time actually is counterproductive. So I get my 3 power blocks in, I move through the one most important thing, and then I move on to other scatter things that I've written down. But at least then I come to the end of the day and I know that I've moved forward on what is important. So that's my best advice in terms of to-do lists. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Erlend Bakke. I'm the best-selling author of a book called Never Work Again and 90 Days to Profit. Please also check out my podcast. I've interviewed more than 250 world-class experts, Navy SEALs, billionaires, real estate investors, on how they manage the business and how they do what they do. This vlog is about my entrepreneurial journey and sharing my tips and tricks, also my failures and anything else going on. I do a video daily. If you want a 5-tip Friday, which is a summary of all the videos that I have created, you can go to youwillneverworkagain.com and just sign up to the newsletter there, and you will get an email from me every single Friday with my latest hints and tips. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.